All right, so in today's video, I'll be walking you through how I made $10,500 in a single month within 90 days of starting my online business, within 90 days of starting my lead generation agency. And the very first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna show you some proof just to show to you that I actually did this. So I started my lead generation agency in October 2022. And even from this screenshot, as you can see, it's dated December 22nd, 2022. I made $10,500 in that month in December. Obviously, the month ended a little early because of like the holidays and New Year's and stuff like that back in 2022. But I made $10,500 in a single month. Fast forward around a year, and I made $59,000, right? So, like, I literally started my business in October 2022, hit my first 10K month in December of that year, so 3 months later. And within my first 12 months, I was able to scale my lead generation agency up to a business that hit $50,000 per month. Over the last year, I've been hovering anywhere between $50,000 and $60,000 every single month. And actually, my best month at my lead generation agency, my record month was actually 2 months ago, back in November 2024, where I hit $83,000 in a single month. I've had $10,000 days. And the reason I'm showing you all of these screenshots is not to brag, but just to show you that number one, I know exactly what I'm talking about. Number two, I actually walked through that path of starting from zero, starting my lead generation agency, getting to 10K per month, and scaling it well beyond that. And in today's video, I'll be walking through with you every single step by step of how you can start your own lead generation agency and do something similar yourself. So in case you don't know who I am, my name is Jim Fung, and this was me a few years ago. I was working at McDonald's. I had no skills. I had no experiences. I was actually a college student at this time while I was working at McDonald's. Absolutely hated that job. Fast forward a few years, I actually got an internship. I was working at IBM inside of a tech sales role, and the pay was good, right? I actually had an offer to come back to IBM after I graduated from college. I was studying business, and it was a really good paying job. It was like a six-figure paying job. But the main reasons why it didn't really stand out to me is because while that pay was good, it was very, very good actually, considering I was just coming out of college, coming out of university. I just didn't really imagine how working at IBM would play and allow me to live the life that I truly wanted to live, right? Because while the pay was good, I kind of looked around and realized that I wouldn't really have the freedom, right? And I'm talking financial freedom, location freedom, and time freedom. I didn't really want to be commuting to work, to the office, back and forth every single day, and just not really having the time to do what I truly wanted to do, right? I didn't really want to be in a situation where if I had a dentist appointment, I would literally have to ask my boss for permission, and he might legitimately say no, right? Because of business demands and stuff like that. So that was me working at IBM. It was a good job, but it just didn't really give me the freedom, control, and flexibility, and the overall freedom that I wanted to desire to live the life that I truly wanted to live. And obviously, I started my lead generation agency. And fast forward to today, and here are just some kind of like screenshots just to give you a glimpse as to what my life looks like today. Now, obviously, in full transparency, I'm not just like traveling 24/7. I'm actually building my business, but the business that I've built, my lead generation agency, it's an online business, and it allows me the freedom to travel wherever I want to, right? I could travel to places like Japan, to Banff in Canada, right? I was able to buy my dream car. And these are some of the things that I prioritized that were important to me, that I imagined would be important as part of my life. And now I'm able to the best of my ability, able to live that out, mainly because I started my own lead generation agency, my own online business. And just to prove to you that this isn't complete bullshit, that I actually know what I'm talking about, because obviously you might not know who I am, I actually helped other people, many other people, start their own lead generation agencies as well and achieve financial success with their own lead generation agencies. So for example, here's one of my clients, Daniel. Daniel was working as a solar sales rep. He's based in Toronto, but I don't know him. I'm in Toronto as well, but I didn't know him previously. He was working as a solar sales rep, and what he was looking for was a way to make money online as a form of additional income while maintaining location and time freedom, right? He tried a few other business models, didn't really go so well, and then he started his lead generation agency. He signed his first 3 clients, and he actually hit $13,000 in a single month within 3 months. I actually have a YouTube interview with him as well. You can probably find that on my YouTube channel. We have Spencer, who's from Vancouver, and now he actually moved over to Tulum, and his goal was to start an online business that would make him $10,000 to $20,000 per month, letting him move to Tulum from Canada. So he's from Vancouver. And when I first started working with him, I remember him telling me that was his ultimate goal: start a business that will allow him to just kind of just work from wherever he wants, that type of thing. He started his lead generation agency and he actually hit $11,000, 11.5K in a single month within 3 months. Within his first 4 months, so a month later, he actually ended up hitting his first $20,000 month within his, by his fourth month. And he was able to do that without hiring a single employee, right? You could actually pause this video right here and read through this screenshot, right? He's over his first 20K month without hiring a single person. That's what Spencer was able to do. And then finally, we have Kevin, who is working in California as a software engineer. It's a high paying job, and he was making really good money, but he really just lacked time and location freedom. I remember he mentioned to me that he was looking to build something on the side that would eventually potentially take over his full-time income, right? He obviously didn't want to quit his high paying engineering job right away, but he wanted to pursue other opportunities that would give him the freedom to just spend more time with his wife, with his family, that type of thing, right? He started his lead generation agency and he actually hit 9.5K in a single month within 60 days of starting, right? And he did this outside of his 9 to 5 job. So this is kind of just a little bit more about me and other people who have actually started this exact same business, a lead generation agency, and have seen success. And in this video, I will be walking you through exactly step by step, exactly how you can do exactly that as well. So I think the very first step is kind of just to walk you through exactly how a lead generation agency works, exactly how the business that I started, that all of those people that you just saw started, and how does it logistically works, right? So the very first thing is if I put it into ChatGPT, I asked it to explain to me what a lead generation agency does in simple terms, and it literally said a lead generation agency is a business that helps other companies find potential customers that are called leads who are interested in buying the products or service, right? The agency's job is to connect businesses with people or other businesses that are likely to buy from them. So kind of like as an example, to really nail home this point is I want you to just imagine for just a second a website design agency, right? So they help other businesses build out their website, design their website, build all of that stuff out. And that website design agency, they want more clients. So what a lead generation agency would do is it would send emails on behalf of that website design agency to other businesses that might need a new website. So for example, they might email a local restaurant or a law firm or accounting firm, whatever the case is, and basically be like, hey, are you looking for a new website? We can help you design a new website. If you're interested, why don't we set up a time to chat? That's essentially what a lead generation agency is going to be doing, right? They're kind of like the middleman that connects the website design agency to, let's say, the law firm. And the email might offer something like a free website audit just to spark some interest, right? And when a business raises their hand and says, sure, I'd like to learn more, I'd be interested in building a new website, the lead generation agency would then forward that person's contact information to the website design agency. So the lead gen agency's client, who would then go on and take the sales call and sell the actual product or service, right? So kind of like, in short, a lead generation agency is kind of like a matchmaker, or a better way to think of it is they're kind of like a middleman where they're bringing businesses and other businesses together. That's literally what a lead generation agency does. And here's actually a short little diagram that I put together. So it kind of really, again, right, it narrows home that point as to what a lead generation agency actually does, right? So on the left side over here is we have the businesses and here are the clients, right? So let's say this is the website design agency. This is the law firm. What a lead generation agency does is they work with the website design agency and they connect them with clients. That's literally how it works, right? It's literally like kind of like a middleman in between the business and the clients. And how a lead generation agency might do that is by doing something called a cold email. A cold email is literally an email that is a pitch that is sent to other businesses. It's literally a sales pitch, except over an email. So it's very, very simple. And how a lead generation agency would get that client in the first place, so that website design agency, is they'll send a cold email to the website design agency and be like, hey, I see you're running a website design agency. Are you looking for more clients? If you are, we can help you. We're a lead generation agency, right? You go through all of that process, and once that website design agency becomes the lead generation agency's client, then you'll be doing the exact same thing. They'll also be using cold emails on behalf of the website design agency, and they'll reach out to their potential clients on their behalf, right? So the entire mechanism, the entire process of this online business is you're helping businesses find more of their own customers or clients to sell their products or services to. The main way you're doing that is by leveraging cold emails, right? You don't have to hop on the phone. You don't have to talk with random people. All you're doing is sending a simple email that will be showing you in, literally in a bit. And you're able to do that in a very automated way. And you're able to do that in the comfort of your own home. Again, you don't have to talk to anyone, stuff like that, right? So again, right, this is what a cold email is, right? A cold email is a message sent to someone that you just never interacted with before with the goal of starting a conversation. And in a B2B lead generation setting, cold emails are used to reach out to decision makers at businesses that might need your service or products. And again, right, back to the simple explanation. So again, imagine for just a second that you are a website design agency and you're looking to help small businesses build out their websites and improve their websites. You don't know these businesses yet, right? But what you will do is you will find their contact information, such as their email address, and you email them a short and polite email, basically just introducing yourself and explaining how you can help them with building and improving their website. And here's actually a screenshot of what a good cold email might actually look like. Right? It's very, very short. Hey, Peter, I noticed blah, blah, blah has a great website, but it looks like it can load faster on mobile devices. Reason for emailing you is we specialize in optimizing websites to improve speed and user experience, which can help bring in more customers. Would you be open to a quick 15-minute call to discuss how we can help? So notice how short this email is. The main reason why I was able to go from $0 to $10,000 per month in such a short period of time is entirely because of cold emails, because you're actually able, if you do this process the right way, you're actually able to reach out and email a bunch of people. It won't take you a lot of time. If you have to pick up the phone and manually dial in every single person and call them, it's going to take you a long time, right? If you have to call 100 people every single day, that's a process. That'll take you 3 to 4 hours a day. With cold emails, you don't have to do that. It's very automated. It'll literally take you anywhere between 1 and 2 hours a day. And that's the most, right? If you have 1 to 2 hours a day, you can literally get started with this, right? So that's entirely how a lead generation agency works. And there's a couple key reasons why starting a lead generation agency is the simplest online business to start in 2025, because I see the same ads as all of you guys. I see the same YouTube videos as everyone else. And there's obviously a bunch of different business models online. And there's really 3 reasons why I personally think starting a lead generation agency is the smartest way if you are looking to start an online business in 2025. So the very first reason is that it's very, very simple. That's the name of the game, right? You don't want to choose something that is super complicated. You want to find something that is very, very simple, especially if you're looking to start an online business for the very first time. Because the problem with most online business models, so for example, things like drop shipping, Amazon, or starting a marketing agency, is it's either super complicated, meaning you have to learn a bunch of different things. It's either super capital intensive and risky. If you're starting product-based businesses like dropshipping or Amazon, you got to buy like $1,000 worth of water bottles, and if it doesn't sell, then you're kind of left holding the bag of all of those water bottles, which is inventory. So it's super capital intensive and very risky. And on top of it all of these business models that you've probably heard of before, they're extremely saturated, right? Everyone and their mother is already doing them, right? You've probably heard of them yourself, even if you never started them yourself. And the reason why is because they're just really pushed just broadly by all of these different people online, just trying to sell their course and all of these different things. But the downside of that is a lot of people are actually doing these type of businesses, and it's very, very competitive, right? And obviously, if you think of it from a logical point of view, if there are 1 million people starting dropshipping stores, it really makes it harder for you to actually stand out if you're the 1,001st person to start the dropshipping store, as opposed to being the 5th person ever to start a dropshipping store, right? So all of these business models that you might have seen or heard of online, they're really just not very beginner friendly. And although some of these businesses do work, there's people that I know in these businesses that actually make money, the chance of success is actually lower for beginners for all of these reasons I literally just listed up above, right? But with a lead generation agency, is actually really, really simple, because the main thing you have to learn is how to do cold emails. Again, you're cold emailing to land a client number 1 for yourself. And then once you have a client, you're also using cold emails to help them get clients. So that's really the only thing that you have to learn, which is cold emails, right? The second point is you're using the process yourself first to land a client. So you're getting proof of concept that this actually works. And this is way less of a mainstream business model. You probably didn't even know what a lead generation agency was when you first found out about this. You're probably like, oh, that sounds interesting. I've never heard of this before. And there's a very specific reason why. It's because this is just a way less mainstream model. There's just not as many people doing it, meaning it's not flashy, it's not saturated, and it's not overly competitive. And all of these reasons mean that the chance of success is actually way higher if it's executed the right way. If you start a lead generation agency the right way that I'm sharing with you in today's video, the chance of success is significantly higher compared to basically any other online business that you can find online, right? And for example, if you start a lead generation agency, the way that I teach it, even from this video, you can actually do this with 1 to 2 hours a day because you're actually able to leverage AI and different tools like that to write all of your cold emails, send all of the emails for you in an automated way so you're not manually sending out emails one by one. And these are some of the reasons why starting a lead generation agency is the simplest online business in 2025. Now, the second reason is there's extremely high demand for lead generation services, right? So there's actually a statistic that you can literally Google yourself, and it literally says that 70% of businesses end up failing. And the biggest reason why 70% of people who start a business actually fail is because of two main reasons. The first reason is they're either selling something that people don't actually need, they don't want it, there's just no demand there. Or the second reason is there just simply isn't enough people who could buy that specific thing that you're selling. Those are the two biggest reasons why 70% of people who try to start a business actually fail. And with a lead generation agency, these problems aren't there, right? Selling lead generation as a service really overcomes these 2 points. And the reason why is because number one, lead generation is literally the largest problem for the vast majority of business. So for example, 61% of marketers identify lead generation as their biggest challenge, right? 62% of B2B companies actually struggle with lead generation, and 68% of businesses report difficulties in generating leads. So what this means is this is actually a massive problem, right? These stats literally back that up. And solving lead generation is crucial for a business because leads are the starting point for sales and revenue. Without a consistent flow of qualified leads, businesses struggle to grow, businesses struggle to maintain cash flow, sustain operations, and they eventually risk failure. It's kind of like fuel for a car, right? If a car doesn't have gas, it's not going to be able to drive. And in the same way, if a business doesn't have leads, they're just not going to make any money at all, and they're going to cease to exist. So that's the reason why 70% of businesses fail, right? And there's actually articles from Forbes that literally show that lead generation is $1 billion challenge for most businesses, and the lead generation industry is actually expected to grow to $31 billion by 2031. So this is a massive industry that's actually growing, and there's really not that many people who know about this, right? And that's the most interesting part, right? And there's actually a rough estimate that says that around the world, there are roughly 30 to 60 million B2B businesses around the world. And what this means is there are literally tens of millions of these businesses, and all of them have a challenge with lead generation. So if someone is able to take advantage of this information and step in to help these businesses, there's a lot of money to be made because there's just super high demand, and there's a lot of these people, a lot of these businesses who are struggling with this extremely huge problem. Now, the third point is a lead generation agency is extremely profitable because anytime you start an online business, or any business for that matter, your number one goal should be to make money, right? You don't want to start a business that doesn't make money because that kind of defeats the overall purpose of that. Your number one goal is to make money. And with a lead generation agency, it's extremely profitable because if your goal is to build a business that brings in $5,000 to $10,000 per month, what you need to do is you need to increase the probability of that actually happening, increasing the probability of you actually hitting $5,000 to $10,000 per month. So let me ask you a question. Which scenario are you more likely to hit $10,000 per month inside of your business with? The first scenario is selling your product or service to 20 different people and selling it for $500 per month. So $500 times 20 equals to 10 grand. Or the second scenario is selling a service to 5 people who are paying you $2,000 per month. Which scenario are you more likely to hit $10,000 per month with? Well, the answer is obviously number 2. And the reason why is because you just don't need as many people to buy your stuff, right? Selling something for $500 per month is kind of just similarly as hard as selling something for $2,000 per month. And the longer you are in business, you realize that is true, right? If you talk to a lot of people, it takes a lot of effort to convince someone to buy something for $500. but it also takes a similar amount of effort to convince someone to buy your stuff for $2,000. And the biggest difference why is you just have to sell to people with more money. That's literally what it comes down to, right? If you sell to people with no money, they obviously wouldn't be able to afford your product or service for $2,000. But if you're selling to other people who are making tens of thousands of dollars per month, hundreds of thousands of dollars per month, then $2,000 really isn't that much money relative to the amount of money they're actually making. So that's kind of why a lead generation agency is so profitable, because you're selling to businesses. You're not selling to regular everyday people, because for the normal everyday person, $2,000 is a lot of money. But to a business, let's say a restaurant or a law firm or something like that, where they're making tens of thousands of dollars, $2,000 really isn't that much money relative to the amount of money they're actually making, right? So if you're telling yourself, oh, I've never sold anything before, how can I sell something for thousands of dollars? Again, the answer is just to approach and sell to people with more money, or in this case, sell to businesses. And if you sell to the right type of businesses, which I'll be showing you exactly how to do that, then you can sell lead generation for anywhere between $1,500 and $3,000 per month. My very first client paid me $3,000. They were a recruitment agency, and they were able to do that because they're a recruitment agency, and every single time they sign a client for their recruitment agency, they literally make $50,000 to $100,000. So obviously, $3,000 is a very low amount of money relative to that. So the next question is, what is a B2B business? Because I kind of mentioned that and sprinkled that throughout this video so far, and maybe you're asking yourself, what exactly is a B2B business? Well, a B2B business, it stands for business to business, is a business that sells their products or services to other businesses. Their customers are companies, so they're not individual consumers. So for example, a software company that sells a project management tool or project management software to other businesses, that's B2B. On the other hand, are B2C businesses, so business to consumers, and they're businesses that sell their products or services directly to individual people for personal use. So maybe like an e-commerce store that's selling clothing like a hoodie or something like that, or a restaurant that sells food to customers. And the key difference is B2B sells the products or services helping other businesses run better, while B2C focuses on satisfying personal needs or personal desires. So kind of think of it as businesses helping other businesses versus businesses helping people. And the reason I'm explaining this to you is because back to my point where if you want to sell something for thousands of dollars, you need to be approaching and selling to people who actually have money. And I wanted to compare the average sales size of a B2B business versus a B2C. And it actually says that B2B businesses, they experience way higher average sales size that could range anywhere from $50,000 a year to $500,000, and actually thousands of dollars to millions of dollars. Versus B2C, so like a hoodie or something like that, it'll often range from $10 to a few $100s per transaction. So that's a very important thing to understand, because these are some of just the checks that I've been able to make for myself at my own lead generation agency. $2,500, $3,800, $2,400, and there's obviously no chance that I'd be able to sell my service for this amount of money if I'm selling it to B2C companies that are selling a product or service for like $100. It just doesn't work like that. So now that we got that explanation as to what a lead generation agency is out of the way, the very next thing that I wanted to walk you through in this video is exactly what you need to do to actually start your own lead generation agency. And I actually put this diagram that kind of walks you through every key aspect of the business and what you want to do to get this off the ground and get this started. And I also paired in some screenshots of other people that I'm working with to start their own lead generation agencies and the success that they're having by following this exact process. So at every step of the way, I'm literally going to be showing you proof that this process that I'm sharing with you literally works. And if you execute it on the right way on how I'm sharing with you in this video, you will actually see success with this. So the very first step that you want to do is you want to identify a B2B niche that you're actually going to be selling your lead generation services to. Because again, we want to be selling your lead generation services to B2B businesses, or businesses to businesses. But again, there's 30 to 60 million of these B2B businesses around the world. You want to be a little bit more specific. You want to narrow down into what's called a niche, so a very subset industry of B2B companies. And that way, it will allow you to create more relevant messaging and just sell your services way easier. And there's actually a ton of different B2B niches that you can actually work with. Here's a list of literally 15 niches that you can literally sell to, right? SaaS companies, e-commerce, professional services like law, accounting, marketing agencies, manufacturing, right? The list goes on. And all of these industries work, right? All you have to do is just pick one of these niches, because again, lead generation is such a massive problem that every single one of these businesses literally face that as a challenge. But all you have to do is just pick one specific niche. And the way you want to do that is, again, right, you can sell lead generation services to really any B2B niche. However, you want to be strategic with the niche that you sell to, right? Because certain niches are actually easier to sell to based on your own personality type and maybe your own previous education, your previous work, or your previous business's experience. And it's actually super important to do research on a niche that you want to work with, right? So what I would do if I were you is I would pause this video right here. I would read through this list of 50 niches and I would literally just pick one that stands out to you most, right? It doesn't have to be a logical reason. Just pick one that just interests you most. And what you want to do is you want to research that specific niche. So for example, if software as a service, number one, SaaS, it stands out to you first, what you want to do is you want to go and then research SaaS companies. You want to understand, how does the average SaaS, how does that work? How do they make money, right? How do they benefit? How does the average SaaS benefit from lead generation? What are the specific problems and challenges that SaaS companies faces relevant to lead generation? And most importantly, what are the specific results that software companies want in relation to lead generation? These are some of the 4 questions that you really just want to have answered, because otherwise, if you don't do this, you simply won't have enough context to be able to sell your lead generation services too, right? So it all starts with the research. These are the 4 questions that you want to have answered. And doing this research will probably take you 30 minutes to do max, right? So it's not that long of a process. And how you want to go about that is just watch some YouTube videos. Just go on YouTube and search how to start a software company, right? Browse different Reddit forums, join different communities like Facebook groups, Twitter threads, Reddit forums. Just find where these software company founders are located, join those communities, and just browse through that community to find out the specific problems that these software companies are having in relation to lead generation. So that's really what you want to do. And just to prove to you that you can literally sell lead generation to really any niche, is we have Christian, who literally said he landed his first client who's in the real estate niche. So he's selling to a real estate client. Simon, he's selling to video production agencies. So agencies that create videos, edit them, stuff like that. Brian, he actually hit 24K a month with his own lead generation agency. He said he's going for 30K this month, and he's actually selling to trucking companies. So literally trucking companies he's able to do this for, right? We have Franco, who signed his very first clients, and they are a recruitment agency, right? And here's just some proof that you can literally sell this lead generation services to really any B2B niche, but it all starts with the research. So the very next step is the actual cold emails, right? So this is a very key step because the whole business kind of just revolves around cold emails, because you're using cold emails to land a client for yourself first. And then once you have a client, you're also using cold emails to help them connect with their own potential customers, right? And the best way to think of cold emails is all you're doing is you're generating attention. That's literally all you're doing. You're answering the question of how do you get as many eyeballs as humanly possible onto your business? How do you get as many people as possible to know about what you sell? That's literally all cold emails is. A lot of people online, they really like to overcomplicate a lot of these business terms, these business strategies, but really all you have to understand is the purpose of a cold email is to generate attention and generate traffic. And with that being said, the most important part about generating attention and traffic is understand the theory that volume negates luck. The more cold emails you send, the more businesses that you actually email, the more money you will make, right? It's a pretty simple concept. Most people kind of just neglect that part. But the more emails you send, the more messages you reach out to, the more people you talk with, the more likely and the more money that you actually end up making. And the best way to think about it is kind of like fishing. What you're doing with a cold email is you're just throwing out the bait. You're waiting for a fish to bite. Once a fish bites, you're kind of just reeling them in. That's literally what you're doing, and that's the best way to think of cold emails. So if you're cold emailing 1,000 businesses a day, every single day for a month, it's pretty hard not to find a few people, a few businesses who are actually interested, right? The numbers literally work in your favor. If you're emailing enough people, you're gonna find at least one person. If you're emailing 10,000 businesses, at least one of them is gonna be interested in learning more about what you have to say. But the caveat to this is I'm not telling you to just mindlessly spam 1,000 emails. That's not what you're doing. You're not just spamming 1,000,000 emails, closing your eyes, praying for the best. That's not what you're doing. What you need to be doing is you need to make sure that your cold emails are talking about relevant things that the business that you're emailing is actually interested in. So the best way to think about this is whenever you write your cold emails, try to put yourself in the shoes of the receiver and ask yourself, what's in it for me? That's really the best way to think about how to write cold emails. And if you are cold emailing 1,000 businesses every single day for a month with a strategic and relevant cold email, you could actually expect 5 to 10 of them to actually reply back interested in learning more and hearing more about what you have to do. So the cold email should really be direct in terms of what you're saying, in terms of your offer. So in this case, when you're first getting started, you're telling businesses that you're helping them get more customers, get more clients, get more leads. That's what you should be saying. And you should have a very clear next step. It's called a call to action. It should be a very clear next step on where and what you want the receiver to do next. And you want to use email sending tools to actually automate this entire process. Meaning you don't actually need to manually press send one by one. You don't have to log into Gmail or Outlook every single day and press send 1,000 times or write out the email 1,000 times, right? If you're using automation tools, you're actually able to pretty much just automate that entire process. And that's exactly why starting a lead generation agency will take you 1 to 2 hours a day, because you're not manually doing this entire process. So for example, here's actually an example, a screenshot of a cold email that I actually sent for myself, for my own lead generation agency, that actually got replies, booked some sales calls, and got me a client. It's very, very simple. And I want you to notice how simple and direct this cold email is. I literally say, hey, John, are you looking for more customers right now? If so, we can help you find more customers with our automated cold email system. So I'm telling them how and what we do, right? We're helping you get more customers. And here's the next step. If you're interested, let's set up a quick time to chat. So that's the next step. This is a very simple email. Do you think you could do this? Well, yeah, you probably can, because this is a very simple email. You're not writing an essay. You're not Shakespeare. You're not writing a book. It's very, very simple. This probably has like 20 words or 50 words, I don't know, right? It's very, very short, and it took me like 10 seconds to read. And here's actually a screenshot of the automation tool that I'm using. It's called smartly.ai. And as you can see, I actually emailed 14,000 businesses, 2,000 of them replied. And of this, I booked a ton of sales calls and actually signed some clients from this, right? But I put this screenshot in here just to show you that I emailed 14,000 businesses. And if you think that I'm manually logging into Gmail every single day and writing out each email and sending it 14,000 times one by one, that's crazy, right? Because that's obviously not what I'm doing, right? And you should 100% not be doing that as well. And by using this cold email process, so for example, we have a guy over here, his name's called Jordan, but his username is Sideways. And he actually started his cold email campaign on May 1st. If you look at the dates, May 8th, he had his first sales call, and he actually signed his client for $2,000 and $200 per lead, right? And it's the second call booked for later Friday, and he's feeling grateful and appreciative, stuff like that. We have Ben, who closed a client for $3,000 plus $70 for every single lead that he generates. And that's what he was able to do by leveraging this exact cold email process. So after you send these cold email, again, right, if you remember this email, we have a next step. We're telling people what to do next. There's a couple different ways you could go about this, but pretty much the best way to think about it is once people reply back to your cold email, all they did is they're expressing their interest. They're not ready to hand you over their credit cards. All they did is raise their hand and they basically say, sure, I'd like to learn a little bit more. There's a couple different ways you could go from here. The best way that I found to actually be successful with a lead generation agency, especially when you're first starting out, is to leverage something called a VSL, right? It stands for a video sales letter. It's essentially a video that you're gonna put on YouTube that essentially sells your service for you. It's a video you film one time inside of your room in front of a camera where you're walking people through, this is how I do this. This is how my cold email process works. This is how I can help you generate more leads. Do you want to learn more, right? And you're kind of just filming that video in time. You're putting it onto YouTube, and you're just going to be sending it to everyone who shows and replies back to your email and tells you that they're a little bit interested. And this is the technical term. The marketing term for this is it's called a lead magnet, right? It's like a magnet where you're attracting people in with a resource or a video, whatever the case is. And inside of that lead magnet, so the VSL, the purpose of that is to sell people on your service. That's literally what it is, right? So the purpose of this entire process of a VSL is you're building trust and showcasing expertise. So essentially you're doing what's called nurturing and warming up leads. Because again, just because you email 1,000 business owners telling them that you can help them get more leads and helping them get more sales calls and help them get more clients, it doesn't mean that they're ready to hand over their credit cards. And if you think they do, then you're just not gonna make money, right? And that's actually what most people do, which is why most people fail with cold emails, is because they're not utilizing this process the right way. They're not building trust and expertise, right? Because when someone raises their hand from an email, all they're doing, again, is saying they're interested, but they know absolutely nothing about you. They don't know who you are. For all they know, you're just an internet scammer. So it's up to you to prove to them that not only are you not an internet scammer, but you actually know what you're doing and you have a service that can legitimately help them. And that's the entire purpose of this entire section of the video sales letter. So what you want to do is you need to strategically build trust and sell them on your service. That's the purpose of this section. And the best way to do this is by leveraging a short video called a video sales letter, a VSL, which is a video that you record one time where you're essentially selling yourself to a business. And the best way to do that is by presenting your service and showing businesses a tangible return on investment of your lead generation services. So you want to demonstrate to them how, if let's say they paid $2,500 to work with you for your lead generation services, you want to demonstrate how by investing $2,500, you can help them book 10 sales calls. And if they even close one deal from those 10 sales calls that you booked for them, they could turn that $2,500 investment into $5,000, into $10,000, into $50,000. That's literally what you want to be doing in the video sales letter. You just literally want to be demonstrating an ROI. And you don't want to overthink this video. If you're watching this video right now and you're thinking to yourself, well, I've never recorded a video before, this sounds really hard. It's really not. Don't overthink this video, because even if you've never done anything like this before, you just need to start. That's really all it is. For context, my very first video that I ever created, it was completely garbage and zero editing. I literally looked like a kid. And it was a video that I used, that I sent to all the people who replied back to my email, that allowed me to hit my very first $10,000 a month. And this is kind of what it looks like. It's actually still on YouTube. I left it on YouTube on purpose so that other people are able to see it and they're able to see just how bad it actually was, right? And this video was really, really bad. Maybe I'll include it as part of the video, like maybe like a short 10-second clip, just so that you can see how bad this video actually was. Hey, hope you're having a really good day. Hope you're doing well. My name is Jimmy, and in today's video, I wanted to quickly record and show you how we make it unreasonable for agency and service business owners to not sign 3 to 5 clients a month. So that's kind of what my video sales letter looked like. The very first one that I ever created. Again, it was really, really bad. I literally just woke up from a nap. I opened my laptop. I recorded it off of my webcam, my laptop microphone, and I called it a day. And it was actually pretty bad, but it clearly worked. So, it got the job done. And that's the best way you want to think about creating your own video sales letter. Don't overthink it. And this is a very important process because Nelson, he's actually an ER nurse, and there's 2 screenshots here. But by using this exact process, the cold email process and the video sales letter, he actually signed his very first client for $1,500, right? And you look at the date, this was sent on March 15, and he literally said, I joined this program. So he started working with me on February 1st. So literally within 45 days, he signed his very first client for $1,500, and he never thought that he would have closed this soon. And that's really the power of the system. If you're doing this the right way, you can see results very, very quickly, right? Here's a screenshot of his Stripe, his payment processor, where he made $1,500 from this, right? We have Franco, who signed his second client for $1,000. We have Tom's, who literally said, I just closed my first ever deal. $1,500 split into 3 payments. By the way, this was the very first sales call that I ever took in my life, and English is not even my first language. I would say from the selling aspect, I was not good at all, but the guy was already pre-sold because of the VSL and the way that I described things so clearly there, right? With Ajastru, who signed his first client for $2,000, with Chino, who signed his second client for $1,500, with Chino again, who signed another client, he signed his very first client for $2,000. I guess the screenshot came afterwards. With Danny, who signed his second client over the weekend for $3,500. With Brian, who, he made $7,000 Canadian. So I think that's like 5,000 USD from leveraging this exact process. And the reason why I'm showing you all of this is because this process just works. So after you send your video sales letter, at the end of that video, you should have something called a call to action, which is your next step, which is essentially inside of your video, you're walking people through your lead generation services, how everything works, you're demonstrating an ROI, and you basically want to redirect people to a next step. So at the end, you just want to say something simple like, hey, so if you made it to the end of this video and you're interested in working with us where we will help you do, all of this stuff that we just showed you in this video, then either reply back to my email if you came through this video from an email that we sent you, or use the first link in the description to book a sales call with our team where we'll get on and chat with you, learn a bit more about your goals, and see if we can actually help you. Something like that. That's a call to action. And from that, there's only 2 things that are going to happen. Either people are going to reply back to your email. They're going to say something like, hey, I just watched your video, very informative. How can I learn more? Or how can we set up a time to chat? Or people are just going to directly book a sales call. And basically all you have to do is in this section that is red is you just really have to nail home on the idea of demonstrating a clear ROI and demonstrating clear value with your service, right? This is the final step in order to actually make money, right? Is you already did all of the hard work of reaching out to people that don't know who you are. You did all of that with the cold emails. You did the hard work of building trust and showcasing that your process actually works. The final thing you have to do is just bring them over the line and collect money, right? That's literally what you're doing with this entire process. So the very most important thing to understand is if you do the VSL, so the building trust and expertise process correctly, businesses will actually be very interested in learning more about the specifics around how you can actually help them, because the VSL does all of the heavy lifting. Inside the video sales letter, you're literally explaining to people the specific process that you'll be taking to help them achieve the specific outcome that you said you'd be able to achieve, which is booking sales calls, generating leads, signing clients, and people will actually watch your VSL and reply back to your email. All you have to do is book them in for a Zoom call. And they'll actually be excited to jump on a 40-minute Zoom call with you to learn more, right? That's the truth. If you're doing this process correctly, people will be interested because in the back of their minds, they're secretly hoping that you can actually help them. They have this massive problem with lead generation. They're secretly hoping that you are the answer, that you are the solution that can help them solve their lead generation problems. So here's actually a screenshot of someone who I emailed. I sent them a video sales letter and they watched that video sales letter and they actually replied back. They literally said, hi Jimmy, I hope you're well. I would love to get a call booked in for you with Oliver, which I guess is his co-founder. I put a couple options below, right? So he listed some times. Please let me know what time suits you and I'll send an invite across. And obviously this is a sales call, but don't overthink it. If you've ever gotten a job before from a job interview where you showed up, you had that conversation, a job interview, and you got the job, then you could do this, because this is exactly what this is. It's kind of like a job interview. That's the best way to think about it. At the end of the day, it's just a normal conversation between you and the business owner. They have a massive problem with generating leads and they're hoping that you can help them solve this problem. And what you want to do inside that sales call is all you want to do is just ask them some questions to learn more about their business. What are they doing right now to get more clients, and kind of just run them over your process and how it all works. So kind of like your VSL, except live over an actual Zoom call. And at the end of the call, all you want to do is tell them that you're able to help them with lead generation for $1,500 to $3,000. Usually, what I have seen in my own business and from all of the people that I've ever worked with is if you talk to 10 business owners, you will easily be able to convert 2 or 3 of them. Even if you've never taken sales before, you think you suck at sales, whatever the case is, you're able to actually close 2 and 3 businesses out of 10 that you chat with. They'll be willing to move forward. And the other 7 to 10 businesses, they just simply won't be interested, or maybe the price is too much, or now is not the right time, or all of these other reasons. And that's completely normal. You shouldn't be selling to everyone. That's the truth, right? You really shouldn't be selling to everyone. And the other truth is the more sales calls that you take, the better that you will get. So just to level the expectations with you, don't expect to make $3,000 from your very first sales call. But also don't overthink the process. So my very first client paid me $3,000. It was my very first sales call I've ever taken. Well, actually, no, it wasn't the very first sales call I ever taken. I think I probably took 10 or 15 sales calls before that, but it was my very first client and they paid me $3,000, right? But it took me 10 or 15 of them to actually really dial in the process. But at the same time, I also didn't really know what I was doing. And again, I looked like a kid, right? Over here, as you can see, I really just did look like a kid. But by using this process and taking these sales calls correctly, Daniel signed a client, another 2 clients for $4,500. Chino, he signed 6 clients for $3,000. Kevin, he signed his first ever client for $3,500. Kevin again closed another client for $3,000. Tony, he signed his very first client for $1,000. Kevin again, he signed another client for $3,000. Russell, out of all the sales calls he had today, his last one was a win. Finally got my first ever client in my life. Doing $1,500 setup split into 3 months. So he's obviously going for a little bit less money, but that's okay because he's still got a win, right? Russell, again, his second client signed $1,000, right? I owe it thanks to Jimmy, right? So if you do this process correctly, and I actually have videos on my channel talking about sales calls, and I actually posted some live sales calls of me closing some deals, you should be able to close 2 to 3 in 10 people that you actually chat with. So this is kind of the overall process of the lead generation agency and signing a client. So once you sign a client, your next step is the onboarding, the service delivery, and actually getting them results, right? It's called service delivery. So once you have a client for yourself, it's actually time to deliver the service that you literally just sold. And the best part about a lead generation agency is this is a very simple business model, right? As I literally outlined like 30 minutes ago. The cold email process that you use to land a client in the first place is a similar process that you'll be using to help your clients get results. All you're doing is the cold email side of the process, right? So this entire stuff that you did, right? The cold emails, generating interest, building the video sales letter, having this conversation, that's literally the exact same thing that you'd be doing for your client. All you're doing is you're booking sales calls for your clients, right? So you're not selling your client's product or service. You're not jumping onto a sales call for your client. Your client is doing that. All you're doing is booking the sales calls. And if you use automations and tools the way that we teach it, each client will probably take you 30 minutes a day to manage this entire process. And again, this is also why if you have 1 to 2 hours a day, you can actually start your own lead generation agency, because this process really doesn't take a lot of work. And if you're delivering the service, you're delivering great results, this is actually a very fulfilling feeling because you're actually adding a ton of value into the world. So for example, here's a screenshot of my own win, right? Where I was working with a recruitment agency and I actually booked a sales call with them with the head of recruitment at Stripe, which is pretty ironic because I use Stripe for my own business just to process all my money, my payments, invoices, stuff like that, right? Here's another client, one of my very first clients ever. Right? He was telling me that he fired his existing agency because they're not getting him the results, and his main concern was the volume was way too low. So again, volume negates luck. And then a few weeks later, he actually said, "Hey Jimmy, I hope you enjoyed your weekend. We just signed VMware, which is a very large publicly traded tech company." Right? He messaged me later that day again, "Hey, we just signed Interlink Mortgage. We're 2 of 2." Right? And he signed 2 clients and he literally made like 100 grand from the work that we did. And he paid me $3,000, right? So this is exactly why you're able to sell this service for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 or $6,000, which I've done before, is because for this guy specifically, he paid me $3,000, but he literally made back $100,000 back into his business, turning $3,000 into 100 grand. That's a really crazy ROI. And I think anyone in the world will want to do that as well, right? So here's some of the screenshots of the payments that I've actually been able to make from my clients. And the key thing I want to show you is you're not just going to randomly make $6,000 or 4.5K or $5,000 do nothing. You will make this amount of money if you are adding value into the world, right? So I was able to make $5,000 because I probably helped my client make back $50,000 in revenue, right? That's the truth. And that's just how business works, right? The more value that you add into the world, the more money you will make, right? You're not just going to randomly make money doing absolutely nothing, right? That's just simply not how it works. So that's basically the overall high level idea of how you want to start your own lead generation agency and kind of like the key parts of the business that will allow you to actually go about and do this successfully. And if you're still here at this point in the video, it's probably just under an hour long. I don't know because I'm filming right now, but I know it's pretty long. And if you're still here at this point in the video, it means that you're pretty interested and you're probably pretty serious about starting your own lead generation agency. And I actually want to present to you 2 different paths that you can take that will give you the best chance of success and making money with your own lead generation agency. And it really just comes down to the specific life situation that you're in, right? I'm going to present to you 2 paths that will honestly, transparently give you the best chance of success. So the first option is if you are interested in the idea of starting a lead generation agency, but you feel like that you just need more information on how everything works, you're still in that researching phase. If you think that you want to go ahead and try this completely on your own, if you have less than $1,000 liquid inside your bank account that you could invest into starting this actual business, then what I would recommend to you, I would strongly suggest that you go through my YouTube channel where I talk specifically about my personal journey from running my own lead generation agency and my key lessons from starting my own lead generation agency, right? Over the last 2 years, I've made just under $1 million with my own lead generation agency. My best month was $83,000 and I documented the entire process for free on my YouTube channel. And I would strongly suggest you go through my YouTube and watch through some of those content, right? Watch through different YouTube videos, take some notes and learn for free. But the key is you actually need to take action, right? Because I give you the information that you need in order to go out on your own and get success with this. But if you're just watching those videos and don't actually do any of the work, none of it's going to matter, right? You're just wasting your own time. And there's actually been tons of people who have watched through my YouTube content and went on to sign their first few clients. And, depending on the video, but you could probably find them in the comment sections of different YouTube videos that I've posted. And the truth is, by doing this process, it might take you 6 to 12 months to actually start making money with your own lead generation agency, but it's 100% viable, right? It's not always about how quick that you get somewhere. What's more important is that you actually get there, right? So even if it takes you a year to get to your first $5,000 month with your lead generation agency, I think the version of you a year from now is still gonna thank you for actually starting, right? And the reason why I say if you have less than $1,000 liquid, you should go under this this path of learning for free is because this business, it does cost between $100 and $300 to run. Right? A lot of that is the software cost, so paying for the email accounts, stuff like that. So while this business isn't super expensive to run, because every single business, you won't find a business where you could get started for absolutely $0. Anyone who tells you that is just simply lying. The truth is for $100 to $300, that's actually a very small amount to run a business that could potentially make you $5,000 a month, 10 grand per month, or even more. So it's actually a very low amount of money. But if you have less than $1,000 liquid, you should probably budget that money that you have available right now towards starting this business. That's the truth, right? It really doesn't make sense for you to be investing into different courses or mentorships or just additional help at this stage of your process. All you have to do is allocate your money that you have right now towards this actual business, right? Because you don't want to put yourself in a position that's going to financially handicap you, right? That's really what it is. And this is me being completely transparent with you. And no one's ever going to say this online because everyone's just trying to sell you something. So they're just trying to sell you like a random course or whatever the case is with absolutely zero regard for your long-term success, right? And no one's ever going to tell you this, but I'm telling you this, right? Because I actually care about your long-term success. And that's also why I have been able to build up my YouTube channel to almost 10,000 subscribers, right? Hopefully, depending on when you're watching this video, hopefully by the time you're watching this video, I'm over 10 grand. But right now, I think I'm at like 9.6 subscribers, right? So that's the reason I've been able to build up my audience on YouTube is because I actually care about the people who watch my YouTube videos. And as a matter of fact, I actually put together a YouTube course, right? This is like a 1.5 hour long video or somewhere between an hour and a half. And it walks through in detail, step by step, how you can actually start your own lead generation agency. So in this video was a little bit more high level on the specific things that you want to be doing. In this video over here, this lead gen agency course, I go into the weeds of what you actually want to be doing and how to actually do that. It's the second link in the description down below that you could go and just watch that video, take some notes. And if you actually take action, you can actually succeed with this. It might take you a little bit longer, but you can 100% succeed with this. So that's option one. Now, option two is if you are serious and 100% committed about starting your own lead generation agency, you're looking for personalized guidance, you're looking for accountability, and you're looking for support with getting this started. Maybe you're working a job right now and you just don't have a bunch of time to go and figure out everything on your own. You want to expedite the timelines that it takes to see success with this. And your goal is rather than taking 6 months to a year to sign your very first client with your lead generation agency, you want to do it in the next 30 days. And you see the value of getting consulting from someone who has achieved what you want to do. Then I actually have a paid consulting program. It's called Inbox Lab that could potentially help you. Our mission at Inbox Lab is to help people like you start your own lead generation agency and make $5,000 to $10,000 per month in literally the next 90 days, in the next 3 months. And this isn't a course. This is a one-to-one consulting program where I will work directly with you to help you start your own lead generation agency. And to date, we have helped over 150 plus people start their own lead generation agencies. So for example, here's Simon. I literally asked him, how much would you say your business makes a month right now? And he literally says, thanks Jimmy, not including a 9 to 5, $4,000 per month. Simon works as a structural engineer, I think, or some kind of like engineer. I might be industrial engineer, I don't know. But he works a pretty demanding engineering job. And by starting his lead generation agency, he's now making $4,000 per month on top of his 9 to 5 job. Right? That's what he was able to do, right? When Michael, who in his second month, he closed out at $13,000. His first month, he made $3,000, right? So there's a screenshot. He made 13.2K, right? That's what he was able to do with our help, with him starting his lead generation agency. Here's Daniel, where he literally said, bro, the call you reviewed with Jessica, so this was a sales call. She signed too. And I asked him, how much money is he up to? And he said, $13,500 USD for 3 clients, right? and $2,500 per month for Jessica. That's what Daniel was able to do with our help. With Spencer, who in the beginning of this video, I showed you him already, but he literally said, sharing a more macro win, look at the dates, this is August. He literally said, been in the group since April, so this is like 4 months earlier from when he sent this message, and Jimmy has helped add so much clarity for how to continue scaling a lead generation agency, so massive shout out to him. After invoicing my clients for demos this month, I should be over my first 20K month, still without hiring a single person, right? That's what Spencer was able to do with our help, right? And sure, these people probably could have done it on their own, but it probably wouldn't have taken the timelines that it did, right? For Spencer, without our help, sure, he could have seen success with his own lead generation agency. I don't doubt that. He's a pretty smart guy. But the truth is, he probably wouldn't have been able to hit $20,000 per month in 4 months. It probably would have taken 2 years, right? That's the honest truth. Right? Or Michael, he hit $13,000 in his second month. Sure, he probably could have seen success with this on his own, but it probably wouldn't have taken him 2 months. It probably would have taken him maybe like a year to get to $13,000 per month, right? Or worse, maybe he would have got stuck somewhere, couldn't find the answers, and maybe just kind of given up, right? So that's basically what it is. So with Inbox Lab, there are a couple of key things that you will actually be getting, right? The very first thing that you'll be getting is the actual course program, right? It's, the Inbox Lab program. This is kind of a screenshot of what this looks like. This goes through everything you need to know, A to Z, step by step, of what I have learned from starting my own lead generation agency, going from 0 to 10K in my first 3 months, making $250,000 in my first year of running my lead generation agency, and making more money than that last year, in 2024 from my own lead generation agency. Sorry, stumbling my words. But this course outlines literally everything you need to know, right? If you just watch these videos by itself, you will have everything you need to know to start your own lead generation agency, sign your first client, and make money with this business. What you will also get is a community, right? So this is a Discord community of all the other people who are also running the lead generation agency. As you can see, right? You literally see Spencer in here, the guy who hit 20K per month. He's answering some other people's questions, stuff like that, because you're able to bounce ideas off of other people who are legitimately running their own lead generation agency and have similar goals and on a similar path as you yourself. And what you will also get is direct one-on-one calls with me, right? So for example, we just got over here in Nelson, right? I shared a screenshot earlier about how he was the guy who made $1,500. I digress, right? So he's actually an ER nurse. So he joined this call while in the middle of his shift. He's an ER nurse. It's a very intensive job. And he was able to do this, get started with this, and make money. Let me actually just find a screenshot for you of Nelson making money. But this is him in Rap Digital, right? Never thought I would close this soon, right? He's an ER nurse, and he was literally as part of these calls, and he joined in the middle of shift, which I find pretty funny. But that's what he was able to do, right? And on top of that, with Inbox Lab, what you will also get is a custom AI software that we actually built out, right? So there's nothing like this on the market. Like I tried searching online myself first, and this literally doesn't exist, which is why I built it out for myself and for all the people inside Inbox Lab. And what this AI software will do is it will literally automate everything for you. It'll help you do all of your research for your niche. It'll write your cold emails. It'll write your VSL for you. This is work that will probably take you somewhere between 10 and 20 hours to do on your own, right? Of you just at your computer typing away. And that's if you actually know what you're doing. But the AI, within like 10 minutes, will actually build out everything for you that you can literally just use. You can send the cold emails that the AI writes for you. You can use the VSL that the AI writes for you. And it'll literally take you 10 minutes to actually do that, right? And again, there's nothing like this on the market. I would love to share this for free on like my YouTube and my Instagram and stuff like that, but it took a lot of money to actually build this out, and it really doesn't make sense to be sharing this for free because of how powerful it actually is. But everyone inside of Inbox Lab will have access to it. So for example, here's a screenshot of the cold emails that the AI is actually going to write for you, right? You could obviously write this yourself. The course will teach you everything you need to do to write a cold email exactly like this. But like anything else, when people start for the first time, they're going to struggle. And the AI really solves that major problem. So that's basically what you get, right? So as a recap, inside of Inbox Lab, you get an A to Z course that shares everything I know about starting and running a successful lead generation agency, right? I share my own winning cold emails, my converting VSLs, my live recorded sales calls that have actually made me money inside my lead generation agency. So I share with you what I'm actually doing right now inside my business that's making me money. And this is stuff that you will absolutely not find online, because no one in their right mind will share with you the tactics of what is making them money, not for free at least, right? No one's gonna do that, right? Every time you find stuff like that, it's either fake or it just doesn't exist online. And if someone is sharing with you, it's probably because you're paying for it, right? You're also gonna get a community of over 150 people, right? Every single screenshot of the people that you're seeing today making money with their own lead generation agency in today's video is inside the community. You can literally message them, maybe set up a call, whatever the case is, and chat with them inside the community. It's just a bunch of people bouncing ideas around as to what's working and what's not. We have weekly calls directly with me, and you will have unlimited DM access, right? So you can hop on a Zoom call, ask me any questions, message me at any time, and get feedback on your cold emails, your VSLs, your sales calls, stuff like that. And you'll also get a custom AI bot that will do all the research for you, write your cold emails, build your VSL. And again, this is work that'll take you 10 to 20 hours of work to do manually. The AI will do this in less than 10 minutes. And to be honest, it'll probably do it better than what you're able to do your very first go at it. And that's kind of the entire purpose that we built out that AI bot. And finally, you will also get a money back guarantee. Meaning, if you do everything you're supposed to be doing to actually see success with this, and you don't make back at least what you invested to join Inbox Lab within 6 months, then I'll refund you in full. And I actually, truthfully, never had to refund anyone, because this process is literally just proven to work. I executed this exact process, and it took me from 0 to 10K per month in my 3rd month. And eventually, I also used this process to scale to $50,000 to $60,000 per month, 80K per month as my best month. And this process has been executed by literally everyone in the video you have seen so far, right? If this process didn't work, I wouldn't have all of these screenshots that I literally shared with you, all of these success stories. They just simply wouldn't exist if this process didn't work. And this process does work, which is exactly why we have a 6-month money back guarantee, where if this process doesn't work for you for whatever reasons, then we'll refund you in full, right? So for example, to really nail home the example of the value of what you're really getting, here is Sydney. She joined Inbox Lab and started working with me to start her lead generation agency in the middle of August, right? Her first message was August 19, right? She's sending me like her email sequences, her VSLs, stuff like that. I'm reviewing them. I'm really like, hey, Sydney, change this, add this, remove this part of your VSL. She's asking me for help on, she's sending cold emails, she's getting replies. She's like, Jimmy, how should I best respond back to this guy to actually book the sales calls, right? She's taking these sales calls and she's sending me her sales calls recordings. Right here are the voice memos. I think I was stuck in traffic at this time, but here are the voice memos where I'm literally like, okay, so in this sales call, I like this part, change this part, ask this question, don't say this, say that type of stuff. And she actually ended up within a month, within her first month in September, she signed her very first client for $3,000 per month, right? That's the value that you're getting, right? Is not just information that you're getting direct one-to-one support to make sure you can't fail with this process. That's literally what you're getting with this process. And on top of that, again, right, there's just so many examples of people making money with this, right? We have Sean, who signed his first client for $1,000 per month. We have Tyler, $2,500. We have Brian, who made $3,000 with this. Brian, he hit 11K per month with this, right? Brian, again, signed another dude for $3,000. Pedro, $1,000, right? Van signed his second client for $1,500. Signed his first client. Mark, first win in 2024, signed his first client for $500. Spencer, $4,000 setup, $300 per lead. Tyler, second client, $1,500, and stuff like that. And I don't want to waste too much time just going into this, right? But the point is all of these guys are inside the Inbox Lab program. I've worked directly with them, helping them start their lead generation agency, and they're making money with this, right? Like literally, because again, this process just works. And if you go on my YouTube channel, you actually find these case study interviews, right? Daniel, how he made $13,000 is a 27-minute video where I'm literally talking with him, asking him how he did it, his feedback, stuff like that. Spencer, how he made $11,000. This interview was actually filmed before he had his very first $20,000 month. It's 10 minutes long. Kevin, how he went from 0 to 9.5K, 12 minutes long. Tyler, how he went from 0 to $6,000, 10 minutes long again. And Chino, he's actually from the Philippines, which is why I interviewed him. He made $2,000 as his very first client, and I interviewed him for 13 minutes on my channel. And the reason I'm sharing that with you is because Chino, he's from the Philippines, and if he's able to do this, and you're from Canada, US, UK, there's absolutely zero reason why you can't do this as well. So if you are serious about starting your own lead generation agency and you want a proven one-to-one consulting to get you to $5,000 to $10,000 per month with your own lead generation agency in the next 90 days, then the first link in the description below will take you to a page to set up a strategy call. And the purpose of that strategy call is to see if we could actually help you in the first place, right? We can't help everyone, right? My name and my reputation is literally on the line, and we can't gamble with the integrity of the business by just working with a bunch of people who we generally can't really do help, who we can't help pretty much, right? So we can't work with everyone, but if we do think we can help you and you decide that working with us will give you the best chance of success in the shortest timeline possible, then we'll get started and get you into Inbox App right away if we have the ability to take you on and make sure you actually get results. So this is for serious people only. So if that's you, use the first link in the description down below to set up a strategy call, and hopefully your screenshot will be part of a video like this very, very soon in the future. But that's it. Thanks for today. See ya.